Vice President of the European Commission, Valdis Dombrovskis, is our guest today. Thank you very much for being here.
Good morning.
Vice President, the Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker has big plans for the euro, saying that it should become stronger, play a more important international role, that it must become the face and the instrument of a new, more sovereign Europe. What concrete steps will this Commission propose to achieve this ambitious goal?
Indeed, next year Euro will celebrate its 20th birthday, and despite its young age, it's already a strong and a successful currency. It is already the world's second most important reserve currency, and indeed, by the end of this year, European Commission intends to come with a communication on how to strengthen the international role of Euro. It will contain, I would say, several parts, several work directions. First and foremost, for Euro to be successful internationally, we need to ensure that we have the basics right. It means completing the work on deepening the economic and monetary union, so strengthening the fundamentals of Euro. And then we are looking also on international stage, what can be done to strengthen Euro's role as a reserve currency, what can be done in area of payments, what can be done in area in international trade, so going through those various sectors.
Mm-hmm. So you're mentioning that it's all about strengthening the euro almost at the same time, a little bit before the euro will celebrate its 20th birthday. For the first time in the history, the European Commission rejected the budget of an euro country, of Italy. How strong is the eurozone right now? Is this rejection a sign that we are in trouble?
Well, that's why I started actually with the need to have fundamentals right, need to have a strong and resilient economic and monetary union, and of course euro area member states following the same rules is part of this. So in this case, if we discuss situation in Italy, certainly it's a cause of concern because Italy's budgetary plans deviate substantially from its fiscal commitments. And it's a question not only about EU fiscal rules, it's also a question about Italy's economy. Because already now Italy is paying much higher interest rates on its public debt. It's starting to trigger down also to the real economy, to the financing costs of companies, of private individuals. And at the end of the day, that kind of approach can be counterproductive and actually slow down economic development in Italy.
Mm-hmm. Is the eurozone at risk right now because of Italy? Is there a danger of a new crisis?
Well, I would not over-dramatize things right now. In any case, we now have requested Italy to come with a revised draft budgetary plan, and it's still almost 3 weeks for Italy to prepare this. We have done a number of steps to strengthen the resilience of Eurozone to ensure that we can handle difficult situations, that we can deal with the spillover effects in other countries and avoid some kind of domino effects as we saw in 2010, 2011. So we think we have a strong and resilient economic and monetary union able to deal with economic shocks. But in any case, it's still important that Italy corrects its course, and I would say first and foremost for the sake of Italy's economy.
Mm-hmm. Italy says that the Commission here is taking 2 measures, that already Germany and France in the past did not stick to the rules, but the budget hasn't been rejected, and now you are taking this step with Italy. Is the Commission behaving more on behalf of the northern EU countries than the southern ones?
Well, first of all, if you look at the way how Stability and Growth Pact is being enforced by European Commission, one cannot say that this Commission has been overly strict or overly dogmatic. As you know, back in 2015, we came with a communication on best use of flexibility within the Stability and Growth Pact. We have applied this flexibility, and Italy actually has been the country who has benefited from that most. So, but this, in this case, we are not talking about some kind of a borderline case. We are talking about plans which are very substantially off where Italy should be, given the current economic situation and given the very high debt to GDP ratio which Italy has.
Critics say that you are feeding populists with this decision, and we see the first reaction showed kind of that also, not only in Italy. What are you saying to these critics?
Well, first of all, if we see a country openly and deliberately deviating from its fiscal commitments, as a European Commission, as guardian of the treaty, we are obliged to act, and that's what we are doing. And it's also important to send a clear signal that we need to enforce the rules if we share the same currency. As regards these policies, well, we think those policies are actually counterproductive to Italy's growth in any case, as they are now feeding some kind of financial instability, financial anxiety, raising interest rates, and at the end of the day, negating this fiscal stimulus what the government is intending.
Italy is already saying that it will not change the budget proposal. What will happen then?
Well, first of all, let's not jump ahead of the events. We have given Italy 3 weeks to adjust its budget and are ready for constructive dialogue with Italian authorities. One element which we, in any case, are looking is also the excessive deficit procedure related to debt. In previous years, we had been doing this assessment for Italy, so-called Article 126.3 reports, and our conclusion was not to put Italy in excessive deficit procedure related to debt, because Italy was broadly compliant with the preventive arm of the Stability and Growth Pact. If this is not the case anymore, we may need to come back to the question of excessive deficit procedure.
Well, last question. To have a strong euro, we talked about it at the beginning, in this European Union, the eurozone needs to be united. This step against Italy could divide also the eurozone. How do you see this, and how do you see this unity of the eurozone right now?
Well, I would say our work on deepening the economic and monetary union is continuing, and so much I would say we have not had too many contradictions with Italy on this. Actually, Italy has been one of the most supportive countries on deepening the economic and monetary union. But we know the guiding principle of this work is that risk sharing and risk reduction, or solidarity and responsibility, go hand in hand. If one is undermined, of course, it's more difficult also to advance on another.
Thank you very much, Vice President.
Thank you.